Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Brothers!
You want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. You get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
So I went to a junior carnival in Ipswich to have a look. I remember seeing those white bow legs.
I got the message he wanted to meet me. Walking over to the hill, I'm thinking, what's he going to say? What am I going to say? He said, take a seat.
When I told him to take a seat all those years ago, I didn't know it would end up a throne. Like everyone, Darren has some things he'd like to do better on the footy field. I probably know what they are, but I've never said a word to any team I've coached against him. Because I'm never coaching against Darren Lockyer. I'm just coaching.
Next week? Yeah. So that means you're certain that there will be a next week.
Yeah, I'm not going to lose. Yeah, I'm not going to any to lose. That's just a fact. I never strap up my helmet to go lose. Yeah, and honestly, it's a vision, man. It's a vision, and that's the thing. Get everybody seeing that same vision, and if you do,
see, when I walk out of there, everything that's went into my quiet time, I leave that behind then. Now, I'm the ultimate warrior. Somebody's told me they're gonna hit me some way, form, or fashion in my mouth. That's personal. That's personal. So right then, a certain mentality clicks in instantly that I'm in war. I say, wow, you can smile and still go through that. And they're talking about a game. There's nothing I won't give up. There's no play I'll take a break on. If a man can fight for life, and I can go out and fight for a game. These are the things that takes you full circle in life, and for me, that's where I'm at right now. Take practice. I work out over 5 times a day for one simple reason. I don't like where I once was. I didn't like where I once was. So I promised myself, I promised my mom, I promised my sisters, I promised my city that I won't be back there. That's what I'm asking each one of y'all right now. What's the difference in you and the man sitting beside you? What's the difference of your mindset and everybody else's mindset? I've always been told that I'm too small, I'm not big enough, I'm not fast enough. I don't have what it takes to be the best and stay there. Sweat is necessary. Walter and Jerry had their heels, never being comfortable with just good enough. I'm older. Of course I'm older. That's the beauty of it. 16 years plus. Different level of wisdom, different level of understanding, different level of punishment. I want to live long after my records have fallen.
So like collapse, I'm spilling these raps long as you feel them. To the day that I drop, you'll never say that I'm not killing them. Cause when I am not, women are caught in webs, spin them in heart, spin them, adrenaline shots. The penicillin could not get the ill in
He's not the biggest. He was never the strongest. He was never the fastest. He was overlooked. He went in the 6th round. So with that being said, all of the intangibles that a quarterback's supposed to have, they overlooked with him because it was burning from the inside of him.
I see it twice a year. I always see it in his eyes. He's a warrior. Like, when is this dude gonna give up?
He ain't never gonna quit. Never. So until the 000s hit the clock, you're gonna get everything Tom Brady has.
We gonna fight!
He was willing to go beyond limits that people won't go to. You don't find too many players that's willing to sacrifice that much time to doing that. That's why Tom Brady will always be considered one of the greatest of all time.
Sprint. So the toughest distance you can sprint, I feel, okay, at 100% is 400 metres. So we get to do 400 metres, that's the toughest thing we do. So when the fitness trainer says to me, he goes, right, you've got 400 metres to run, as hard as you can, 100%, sprint hard. That's what I go out and do, okay? But you won't believe what players I play alongside, they must hear something different, okay? Because I play with players, but when they hear that, they go out and sprint 390 metres, then cruise in the last 10 metres, okay? Or some of them will sprint 396 metres and cruise in the last 4 metres. They think they're giving 100%. These professionals think they're giving 100%, but they're not. They're pulling up short, just 1% short than 4 metres. Now, why is that important? Why is this little bit important? Because you won't believe the amount of players I pass in that last 10 metres, in that last 4 metres, the last 1% of a 400 metre. Sometimes I've gone past 3 and 4 players who've decided to slow up, who think they've got a good attitude, but for me, they've not. A good attitude for me is giving 100% to whatever you're doing. Now, think about the work you do. Are you giving 100%? Are you running the 400 metres as hard as you can? Or are you pulling up that little bit short? Is there an extra percentage you could give? Now, it's worked for me. It's allowed me to go to the top. It's allowed me.
He's a guy who can be as vicious as he needs to be. He can do anything he needs to do during the course of that 80 minutes to bring a result towards his team. His will to win rises to any occasion. But the moment that final whistle's blown, he's a completely different man. He's able to laugh easily. He's good with kids, respectful to women. He appreciates life and he's grateful, which is, of course, why he's the sparkly-eyed man. He has that thing built within him to never quit. And if you're going to do something, you do it to the absolute utmost of your ability.
He was raw, but had no fear, played with a huge passion, was never beaten.
Anyway, there's all this hubbub about this new kid coming out and playing.
What he brought to us is he has an incredible work ethic. You don't see many forwards in defence being involved in 4 of the tackles in one set of 6.
Just toughness that he has. Seen him down and out in games where you think, you know, you're probably going to have to take him off, but he just finds a way to get himself to the next effort.
Sam was always noticed by everybody as having just something a little bit extra. I think it was that little competitive edge, that will to win, you know, and you just know.
He was picked in all the rep sides.
Just one thing I used to speak to Sam about is his belief. Just, he always told himself, you know, whenever he stepped out into a field, that he had that belief that he knew he was stronger than the people that he was running at, stronger than the people who were tackling and fitter than the people that he were playing against. So.
Me and my brothers are, you know, so grounded about everything. We don't get carried away with what or who we are or what we do. You know, we're still very grounded to, you know, living a normal life and really just appreciating what's important to us, and that's the day's health. It's just a feeling that I've got inside me. It's really hard to explain. At the end of the day, I want to win a premiership, South Sydney. I want to be remembered at that club for years. And I suppose by doing that, you've got to dedicate yourself, your body and everything to the cause, and that's, you know, being the best athlete I can.
Wow. Oh, good shot. The torso stopped, the legs kept going, and it was Big Sam. And those Surgeons are hitting with everything, including his birth certificate.
Always right. To me, that's a slight against Sam Burgess. The reality is, I think Sam Burgess could become the greatest forward to ever play in our game.
Back there, back there, back there. They want to keep it zipping out wide. They've got the quality.
In his game, there was something that he added, whether it was a new shot, a new move. He was never satisfied, no matter how many championships, how many titles, what people said, how many accolades he got, he always wanted to get better. Michael's mindset into training was extremely unique. I mean, the most competitive individual I've ever met, never wanted to lose at anything, always felt like somebody else was going to outwork him, so he wanted to outwork them, knew what his weaknesses were, knew what his strengths were. He had a big thing where he used to say, hey, listen, I'm going to turn my weaknesses into strengths, and he did, and he did to win. I think the key components to that mindset is once he stepped between those lines, nothing else mattered. That was his safe haven. Nobody could get to him. He was able to perform in front of millions of people, and he never wanted to let them down, but he practiced extremely hard, which made the game very easy for him. From so much practicing of all the different aspects and understanding film and the other players and what their tendencies are and being so well prepared, he always had the edge over his competition.
This is the way winners think. I like talking about how we think as winners, that we see what we want to happen. Losers see what they don't want. And we know how to dress ourselves up. When we go from the practice tee to the first tee, winners take their swing with them. Losers don't. They can't. That 5.5 inches you got right between those ears. That's what you win with. That makes $500,000 a year. This can't make $500,000. Your dumb muscles can't make $500,000 a year. This can make more than that. That's because your mind's a generator. Your body's a motor. Your club face is a trigger. And the golf ball's a bullet. Now aim and fire. We aim, but we don't fire. We direct. Losers direct their emotions. Losers live that way every day in life. They're directing themselves down the highway, down the road, wherever they're going in through stores or in this and that. They're directing themselves. They're stumbling over their own emotions. Their minds are in their way. See, they don't know how to get out of their own way because they don't understand their own self. People are a mystery to themselves and always will be. You are what you think you are. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. You want to win but think you can't, it's almost certain that you won't. If you think you lose, you're lost. For all in this world you find. Success begins in a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. How to make it more. Winners look up, losers look down. But every time I teed it up, I wanted to shoot another course record. And I shot 41 of them in my life. We're always downgrading, making ourselves feel worse.
What'd you do to yourself when you had a good shot? What would you say to yourself?
I did it before, I can do it again. And I'm going to do it better. And I did.
Let me tell you something. If tomorrow wasn't promised, what would you give for today? Forget everything else. Forget everything else. Forget that there was any sunlight left. What would you spend today thinking about? Yourself or the man that's beside you? Or the man that you know you'll give everything in your heart for? We get one opportunity in life. one chance in life to do whatever you're gonna do, to lay your foundation, to make whatever mark you're gonna make, whatever legacy you're gonna leave your legacy. That's what I try to install in my men. Somebody's challenging our manhood, and if they can tell you that, and I'm your leader, I'll show you what I'm willing to do first, and then see if you can follow me from there. See tears in my eyes when you see, because it's not about the wins or the losses, it's about the opportunity. What matters about me is sacrificing for you, for the ultimate goal, which is us. And if I have no other legacy, one of the greatest warriors, greatest servants to ever walk this earth, to play on the football field, I'm honored to lead that type of legacy. Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature now than I was 5 minutes ago. Because I'm pissed off for greatness. Because if you ain't pissed off for greatness, that means you okay with being mediocre. Ain't no man in here okay with being just basic. So let's do what we do tonight. Sir. We ain't got to worry about taking no breaks. Don't worry about taking no breaks. Chase your legacy every second of your life. Will you be remembered? How would you be remembered? Why wouldn't you fight for the greatest achievement ever? Leave your mark.